spot a narcissist and narcissists and their partners. Well, I'll start first with how to spot a narcissist because of the fact that this is a very strange article on latestly. The answer, some psychologists say could be revealed in their well-groomed eyebrows, according to a recent study. It's often difficult to identify if a person is a narcissist or not, especially if you are meeting with that person the first time. So let's help you. If you want to spot a narcissist from far, far away, look for thick and well-groomed eyebrows. Weird fact? Well, according to a recent study published in the Journal of Personality, thick eyebrows form a prominent facial feature of narcissistic people. On the other hand, thick, dense, and well-groomed eyebrows is the latest trend that's taking the beauty and fashion industry by storm. As we know, I've seen women even have their eyebrows so perfectly formed that they have tattooed eyebrows. Tattooed. Now, women are even more conscious about the shape of their eyebrows as they form their strongest facial features. It turns out that maintaining distinctively thick and well-groomed eyebrows is a trait synonymous with those who rate highly on the scale of grandiose narcissism, flamboyant and dominant style. Researchers Miranda Giacomine and Nicholas Rule of the University of Toronto concluded the study by taking facial photographs of participants. Then they cropped the photographs to focus only on the eyebrows and showed it to independent coders who then rated the eyebrows on a series of qualities, including grooming, distinctiveness, and femininity. The results showed that it was distinctiveness that was key. Narcissists tend to have darker, thicker eyebrows. As for why this might be, the authors conclude that it spurns from a desire to be aesthetically unique and recognizable, something that's easily achieved via meticulous eyebrow grooming. Eyebrows facilitate facial recognition. This is what Giacom told The Independent. She said, narcissists may maintain distinct, thick, and dense brows to enhance recognition, which they are motivated to attain. Researchers also wrote they might seek to maintain their brows to facilitate others' ability to notice, recognize, and remember them, thereby increasing their likability and reinforcing their overly positive self-views. Other ways to judge if a person is narcissist or not is to observe how they act, what they say, what they wear, and what their faces look like. So if you cannot handle a narcissist, steer clear if you get the first hint from looking at their bushy brows, but this may not be the case with everyone. And this is on latestly, I'll leave a link, but all we need to know about narcissists and their partners on Psychology Today. Poor Narcissus. The god sentenced him to a life without human love, and he fell in love with his own reflection in a pool of water and died hungering for its response. Like narcissists only love themselves as reflected in the eyes of others. It's a common misconception that narcissists love themselves. They actually dislike themselves immensely. Their inflated self-flattery, perfectionism, and arrogance are merely covers for the self-loathing they don't admit, usually even to themselves. Instead, is projected outward in their disdain for and criticism of others. They're too afraid to look at themselves because they believe that the truth would be devastating. Now, I'm just reading the article for you. It doesn't mean I agree with it. I believe that they really do know what they're talking about, and that, they don't have disdain for themselves. I believe they love themselves to the extreme point that they think they're the center of all the world, and that everybody around them is their slaves. But anyway, I'm just reading the article for you. Now, actually it says here they don't have much of a self at all. Emotionally, they're dead inside, and they hunger to be filled with validated by others. Sadly, they're unable to appreciate the love they do get and alienate those who give it. Diagnosis. All personality traits, including narcissism, range from mild to severe. Narcissism can be viewed as a continuum from mature to archaic. Mature individuals are able to idealize romantic partners, express their talents and skills, and accomplish their goals while employing only neurotic defenses. A middle group has unstable boundaries and employ borderline defenses, and those highly sensitive to wounding employ destructive psychotic defenses and have unstable relationships, according to Solomon in 1989. Narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD, first categorized as a disorder by the American Psychiatric Association in 1987, occurs in 1 to 6% of the population. Male exceeds females at a ratio of 3 to 2, although non-professionals often label people with NPD who show a few narcissistic traits. Clinical NPD ranges in severity from those with only a minimal requirement, 5 diagnostic traits, to narcissists who strongly manifest all 9 symptoms. Here's a summary of the diagnostic criteria. Someone with a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, sometimes only in fantasy, need for admiration from others, and lack of empathy, beginning in childhood, as indicated by 5 of these characteristics. 1. He has a grandiose sense of self-importance and exaggerates achievements and talents. 2. Dreams of unlimited power, success, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. 3. Believes he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with or other special or high-status people or institutions. 4. Requires excessive admiration. 5. Unreasonably expects special, favorable treatment or compliance with his or her wishes. 6. Exploits and takes advantage of others to achieve personal ends. 7. Lacks empathy for the feelings and needs of others. 8. Envies others or believes they're envious of him or her. 9. Has arrogant behaviors or attitudes. In addition to the grandiose exhibitionist narcissist described above, James Matterson identifies a covert or closet narcissist, which is someone with a deflated, inadequate self-perception, a sense of depression and inner emptiness. He or she may appear shy, humble, or anxious because his or her emotions investment is in the idealized other, which is indirectly gratifying. Now, malignant narcissists are the most pernicious and hostile, and they enact antisocial behavior. They can be cruel and vindictive when they feel threatened or don't get what they want. Early beginnings. It's hard to empathize with narcissists, but they didn't choose to be that way. Their natural development was arrested due to faulty early parenting, usually by a mother who did not provide sufficient nurturing and opportunity for idealization. Some believe the cause lies in extreme closeness with an indulgent mother, while others attribute it to the parental harshness or criticalness. Now, this later position stems from Otto Kernberg's emphasis on parental anger, envy and hate, or indifference that expressed veiled aggression, according to Ellis and Russell, 2009 and 1985. The two views converge on the underlying psychodynamics. An idealizing, indulgent mother may be unable to experience her child as a separate individual and provide sufficient empathy, mirroring, or opportunity for idolization. Although leniency can result in healthy narcissism when psychological control is added, like guilt induction and withdrawal of love, a solid self does not develop because the child's focus is to gain external approval. Rather than receiving support of an emerging autonomous self, the child learns that love and involvement is conditioned on confronting to parental needs and expectations. Heinz Kohut observed that in his narcissistic clients who suffered from profound alienation, emptiness, powerlessness, and lack of meaning, beneath a narcissistic facade, they lacked sufficient internal structures to maintain cohesiveness, stability, and a positive self-image to provide a stable identity. He believed the cause lay in the emphatic failure between the caregiver and child. He differed from Otto Kernberg, who thought the pathology began during the oral stage, claiming that it could even begin in latency. Narcissists are uncertain of the boundaries between themselves and others and vacillate between dissociated states or self-inflating and inferiority. The self divided by shame is made up of the superior acting grandiose self and the inferior devalued self. When the devalued self is in inferior position, shame manifests by idealizing others. When the individual is in a superior position, defending against shame, the grandiose self aligns with the inner critic and devalues others through projection. Both devaluation and idealization are commensurate with the severity of shame and the associated depression. Although most people fluctuate in these positions, the exhibitionistic and closet narcissists are more or less static in their respective superior and inferior positions, irrespective of reality, making them pathological. Arrogance, denial, projection, envy, and rage are among the defenses to shame. Although more research is required, twin studies reveal 64% correlation of narcissistic behaviors, suggesting a genetic component. Relationships with narcissists. It's easy to fall in love with a narcissist. Their charm, talent, success, beauty, and charisma cast a spell, along with compliments, scintillating conversation, and even apparent interest in others. Enlivened by their energy, people gravitate towards them and are proud to bask in their glow. At home, narcissists are totally different than their public persona. Oh boy, can I tell you they are. No, I'm a victim of one. Now, they may privately denigrate the person when they were just entertaining. After an initial romance, they expect appreciation of their specialness and specific response through demands and criticism in order to manage their internal environment and protect against their high sensitivity to humiliation and shame. Relationships revolve around them, and they experience their mates as extensions of themselves. Many narcissists are perfectionists. Nothing others do is right or appreciated. Their partners are expected to meet their endless needs when needed for admiration, service, love, or purchases, and are dismissed when not. That their spouse is ill or in pain is inconsequential to them. Narcissists don't like to hear no and often expect others to know their needs without having to ask. They manipulate to get their way and punish or make partners feel guilty for turning them down. Trying to please the narcissist is thankless, like trying to fill a bottomless pit. They can make their partners experience what it was like having had a cold, invasive, or unavailable narcissistic parent. Anne Rice, Vampire's late Lestat, had such an emotional empty mother who devotedly bonded with him to survive. The deprivation of real nurturing and lack of boundaries makes narcissists dependent on others to feed their insatiable need for validation. Now, the narcissist's partner. Although their partners feel loved when the narcissist bestows caring words and gestures, is madly possessive, or buys expensive gifts, they doubt his or her sincerity and question whether it's really manipulation, pretense, or manufactured as if personality. They feel tense and drained from unpredictable tantrums, attacks, false accusations, criticism, and unjustified indignation about small or imaginary slights. Their criticisms can escalate to narcissistic abuse. These partners also lack boundaries and absorb whatever is said about them as truth. In vain attempts to win approval and stay connected, they sacrifice their needs and tread on eggshells, fearful of displeasing the narcissist. They daily risk blame and punishment, love being withheld or a rupture in the relationship. They worry that their spouses will think or do and become as preoccupied with the narcissist as they are with themselves. Partners have to fit into the narcissist's cold world and get used to living with an emotional abandonment. Soon they begin to doubt themselves and lose confidence and self-worth. Communicating their disappointment gets twisted and is met with defensive blame or further put-downs. The narcissist can dish it, but not take it. Nevertheless, they stay because periodically the charm, excitement, and loving gestures that first enchanted them return, especially when the narcissist feels threatened that a breakup is imminent. When two narcissists get together, they fight over whose needs come first, blame, and push each other away, yet they are miserable and need each other. Codependency. Despite having a seemingly strong personality, narcissists lack a core self. Their self-image and thinking and behavior are other-oriented in order to stabilize and validate their self-esteem and fragile, fragmented self. They share codependent core symptoms of denial, control, shame, dependency, unconscious that is, and dysfunctional communication and boundaries, all leading to intimacy problems. One study showed a significant correlation between narcissism and codependency, although more aggressive than passive. In my opinion, they are codependent. Accommodating codependents and narcissists can be a perfect fit, albeit painful, because the latter's attributes and aura of success boost the former's low self-esteem, which allows accommodators to tolerate emotional abuse. Typically, accommodators are not authoritative and prefer a non-assertive, subordinate role because their own power and often anger are repressed, frightened, and shame-bound. They seek and hunger for missing parts of themselves and idealize new partners' qualities, which they hope to absorb. This is why two accommodators rarely get together. They're in awe of narcissist self-direction and strength and live vicariously in reflection of their success, power, protection, and charisma, while unaware of narcissist fragile personas and hidden shame. Accommodators attached to narcissists who appear bold and express their needs and anger, yet themselves feel needless and suffer guilt when they assert themselves. Caretaking and pleasing make codependents feel valued because they feel undeserving of receiving love. They don't expect to be loved for who they are, only for what they give or do. Narcissists are also drawn to their opposite to support their pride and fill their emptiness, partners who are emotionally expressive and nurturing, qualities they lack. They need partners they can control who don't challenge them and make them feel weak. Often, in these relationships, the narcissists are the distancers when more than sex is anticipated. Getting emotionally close means giving up power and control. The thought of being dependent is abhorrent and not only limits their options and makes them feel weak, but also exposes them to rejection and feelings of shame, which they keep from consciousness at all costs. Their anxious partners pursue them, unconsciously replaying emotional abandonment from their past. Underneath, they both feel unlovable. For loved ones, are narcissists doing the exercises and using their accommodation strategies in dealing with narcissists? 8 steps to raise self-esteem and set boundaries with difficult people can be helpful in dealing with a narcissist. Doing them can also help an ambivalent partner get clear about what he or she wants to stay in the relationship. Well, I'll tell you what they say. 8 steps usually means that, take care of yourself, distance yourself, and if you have to, break your relationship with these narcissists who only cause you harm and hurt. And this is by Darlene Lancer, 2015, published in The Therapist, and it's on Psychology Today. Please leave your comments, and thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.